Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's D with a T, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys today. I have something to share, something that's really close to my heart, something that has recently just kind of happened, and I'm not gonna cry. That's what I'm not gonna do, because I'm a G. I'm a save G, but I'm a G. Yeah, but I just want to share something with you. So if you're new to the channel, which most of you probably are because I just started out, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you can be updated on when I post, and like, share, comment, and yeah, let's get into it. 2020 was a doozy for everybody. Everybody has gone through a lot in 2020. But for me, 2020 was really a sobering year. And it was also a year that showed me how tough I am. But not only what I was made of, but it also showed me where I was weak and how even more so I needed to depend upon God to just move forward in every part of my life. So I've said this before, but I am now a very an advocate for self-care, for making sure that you take care of yourself. And the reason for that is because up until recently, at the end of 2020, I really was not that person. I was a complete opposite of someone that took care of themselves. There were certain aspects of my life spiritually. I have strong belief in Jesus Christ, and I attend church, and I have a relationship with God, and that's strong. But there are other areas in my life that I just, didn't really take care of myself in. And so that was the word for the middle of 2020. I kept hearing people say, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I noticed around August of 2020, or a little before that, I would start to see these little floaters in my eye. And just kind of like these little shadows that would come up in my eye. And I always thought that it had something to do with the fact that I'm a graphic designer, and that I worked on computers all day. For years, that's what I've done. And so I always needed, sister always telling me, go get your eyes checked, go get your eyes checked. Just never have been a doctor person. Really don't do the doctors, or I didn't do the doctors. I just did it. And I started to see the floaters in my eyes, and it scared me, but I just thought it was something to do with me getting my eyes checked. Told my sister, and we were like, okay, well, get it checked out. You should be okay. And, just kind of left it alone. Fast forward a little bit, a few months later, I started to notice that my eyesight started to really get hazy and bad, and it was very distorted. I remember I had to wear glasses when I was a very small child, but I grew out of them and I didn't need them anymore. So I'm thinking still, oh, now I really need to go to the eye doctor. I need to get glasses. I'm walking around with distorted vision and not realizing something is going on. I had some really bad headaches and I had a little ringing in my ear, but I'm just, again, not a doctor person. And I'm just constantly just going. And so I end up, I go to a birthday dinner or a birthday lunch, and I drive across town, and I noticed that I had a hard time kind of seeing there and back, and it felt really weird. So I came home and told my sister, I'm not going to drive for a while. I need to go get my eyes checked. Something's not right. Go to the eye doctor, and he thinks it's a tear. So at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh. She's like, you need to see a retina specialist. There's a tear in your eye. At this point, it looks like a fun house. And I'm just crying because, my vision is completely distorted. So, long story short, I find out, go to the retina specialist, and they take pictures behind my eyes and all this stuff, send me to a neurologist and tell me that there's something going on in my body. Inter-cranial hypertension, where there is actually extra, everybody has fluid on their brain, but there's extra fluid, or the fluid is created more rapidly, and there's more than there should be there, and it actually ends up behind my eye. And so it actually is like kind of pushing on the nerves to where it's distorting my vision. And so I'm like, oh God. And so, they want me to do some procedures to kind of diagnose these procedures to see why it's happening. And then all of a sudden I start having issues with high blood pressure. So there's a whole bout of high blood pressure, emergency room, ambulance, low blood pressure, medicine, no meds, doctor, no doctor, all this stuff. And at the end of it, or towards the end of the year, I really fell into a deep depression because all of this was going on. We do know that one of the things that can help with the intracranial fluid is weight loss and eating healthy. So I changed my eating habits, started walking every day. Shout out to Pastor Shosha Whitener, you've helped me greatly. But I started to really take care of myself, going to doctor's appointments, started to dive into taking better care of myself. But I fell into a depression because there was just a lot going on top of just the stress of 2020 itself. And then I really felt like the enemy was trying to take that time and make it worse than what it was. It's already a bad situation, but when I say I would just hear all the time, or thoughts would come into my head about how, when I wanted to be happy, like, how would you have do you have the audacity to think that you could start a brand? Do you think you have the audacity to think that you can go travel and have a good time? Like, seriously? Like, all this is going on? Like, no. Like, if you lose your eyesight, you're going to be worthless, and just all this craziness where I felt like until this thing, I was healed, or until this thing was fixed, I wasn't going to be worth anything. And so it might sound silly, but those are the different thoughts that would go through my head. And so in that time period, there was so much that happened, and I was so depressed. There were days I didn't want to get out of the bed. It was really hard for me to get out of the bed, but I knew that all I could do was do what I knew to do, which was to continue to pray. Sometimes I couldn't even pray. I could just sit on the side of my bed and say, God, you know what's going on. I need your help. And I would lean on my family, and sometimes I would just go sit in my sister's floor and cry, and she let me. I would just do things that I knew to do. As far as working out and stuff, I didn't want to get up and do that, but I would get up and just say, okay, if I can just get up, then that's a step. If I could just get up and make it to the bathroom, if I could just get up and put my clothes on, then if I could just put my shoe on. And when I stopped just working out and everything, and I was just out for the count at that point, I just would open even though I didn't feel anything, or I didn't feel like it was helping, I would open my Bible and read one scripture. Or I would just repeat the same scripture over and over about having long life and finding refuge and safety in Christ. And I just did the things that I knew to do. And I was in a very low point. I felt like life was just like I just was not adequate, or I felt like I was exempt from having life at that point. I felt like I was exempt from everything that I wanted to do. It was really weird, but I just felt like I just felt exempt. And I know people have it worse off or have other situations, but I really know that was just the enemy in my head trying to take hold of my mind and keep me in a stagnant place. And I think that I was right on the precipice of something as far as changing my mindset and moving forward, even in like this, releasing my YouTube channel and helping to build my brand and all that kind of stuff, and working on different creative projects, purpose projects. And I think I was kind of hit with this. But one thing, even though it was what could be looked at as a bad situation, it did allow me to take some time and see, okay, I'm not Superwoman. I have to take care of myself, and I have to lean on God every single moment. When people would say, how are you doing? I literally understand, not just when the Bible talks about just living for today and not worrying about tomorrow. I understand that because I literally had to live second by second. I had to take every moment and just live in that very moment and just try to get through that moment to make it to the next. That's how low I was. But even though it was crazy throughout the day, at nighttime, when I would go to bed, God would give me these vivid dreams full of color. And I don't remember all of them, but there was one dream, the last dream I had of this nature. It was a dream. I don't remember it all, but the part that I remember, I was in a room and I walked in and God said, there was like a door in my stomach, and so he told me to open it, and I opened it, and there was a treasure box, and I pulled it out. In the treasure box, he told me open it, and I looked at it, and there were these beautiful jewels, just beautiful jewels in this treasure box. And they were like vibrant colors that I don't think I've ever seen before. And they were just really beautiful. And every time I picked one, he said, go ahead, pick one out. And every time I picked one out, there was something that represented life for my purpose, and life for my career, and life for my future family, and just things that I had kind of begun to think this stuff won't happen for me. And he said, it's already in you. It's already there. And I'm there. I have you. So I woke up from that, and it was literally like that dream plus just over time doing what I need to do as far as praying and leaning on my family, even when I didn't feel like it, praying when I didn't feel like it, just being honest with God and with myself about how I felt. And just, even in my weakness, depending on his strength. Because of all of that in that dream, there was like a few days later, I started to come out of this funk. And I literally just started to see things differently. It was like scales fell from my eyes almost. And I even asked my sisters a few times, like, I don't have to, like, let's say I do. That was probably my niece, like, laughing loud. But anywho, excuse that. If I lose my vision, that doesn't mean that I don't have purpose. Like, there are people that are blind that have purpose, right? And it's not that I was believing that I was going to lose my vision, but all the things that the enemy would tell me, like, you're going to lose your vision and this is why you don't matter. It was like, even if those things do happen, I still am special. Like, I still am, God created me to be me and to fulfill purpose in the earth, right? So I can live, like, I can go travel, and I can go do these things, and I can deal with what's happening right now, but still have a life. And so it was literally like this joy turned on Like, I don't think I've ever experienced true joy like that. Like, it wasn't just happiness, like a temporary happiness that came with the ups and downs. Like, I'm happy one minute, I'm not. Like a joy, like something that was just on the inside, like a fulfillment that I knew that regardless of anything, nothing had changed technically. But I just knew that everything was going to be okay and that I was okay. And God really lifted me out of that depression. And I'm so grateful. And so the next day, go to church, and my pastor preaches a sermon called Flexible People. And I'll never forget, he begins to talk, and he started to talk about the treasure in our vessel. And that's what has sustained us, right? I was floored because he preached this, and God had literally gave me the dream about the treasure on the inside of me. And it broke. The depression broke off of my life. And so I just wanted to share that I am just in this new headspace. I'm okay. Like, some of my vision is restored. Thank God for that. I just see things in a different light, and I'm like just ready to live life. Like, I'm ready to live life. Like, I'm ready to date, I'm ready to travel, I'm ready to move, and I've been making forward progress, and I can say it's a true joy. Like, I don't think I've ever felt joy, but this is joy. It's a difference. So if you find yourself in a dark place, just know that you're more flexible. Like my pastor said, then you know. You might bend, but you don't have to break. And if you just hold on to God and take every single moment for what it is, and just depend on Him for every step, every breath, every moment, every one step forward. Take a step forward. Do what you can. I really believe that on the other side of darkness is light. So yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I don't have a formula to how that happened. It's a true testament to God's power in my life, but I'm just happy to share that. I'm happy to share that. And I hope that it gives somebody some hope that you don't have to stay in a dark place, that there is joy there on the other side. And if you do find yourself in a dark place, really hone in on God and the strength of God. And if you don't know how to do that, lean into someone that does. Lean into your circle, into your family. Let somebody know where you are. And I just pray that anybody that's dealing with that now, that they would see the light soon. That they would see the light even now. So I know it's a little different, and I said I was going to cry, and I did it, and I'm not going to. But I just want to share that I'm so happy. So yeah, that's all for today. So if you like what you see on this channel, make sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Hit the bell notification so you can get notified when I post. And we're going to have some great stuff, fun videos, cool story times, cool creative projects, and different things coming your way. But for right now, I'm joyful. I'm just full of joy. And that's just real, authentic, true. And I'm so excited. So see you all next time. Bye.